So yeah, thank you all for coming. So today I'm obviously going to talk to you about roots. And initially I wanted to talk to you about like my physical roots and the fact that I stayed in my hometown of Edinburgh to pursue a creative career and how that really helped me in my creative career. But a week ago, because you know I'm quite close to a deadline in that front, I started asking people what roots meant to them. And everyone started coming back with really similar things. So it's really around the things that help you grow and the things that feed you, like water and sunshine and the right conditions, and the support around you and the people around you and the nourishment that you get from other people, and also the things that make you you. So I realised that having roots and staying true to your roots are really, really difficult when you're in a creative career, you're a small business or you're a freelancer, because there's just so much to be getting on with that how on earth can you dedicate time to your roots? So how can you grow when people are asking you to work for exposure and you're wondering how on earth to pay the rent? How are you meant to get nourishment from other people when you're perhaps working in your flat on your own all day and you don't talk to anybody all day? How can you really explore your creative side when your client thinks that they're the next Spielberg and you worry that if you don't do what they say that they're not going to pay their next invoice? How can you really make creative people when you're not sure that you're actually a creative person yourself? And how on earth do you support yourself when you're owning your overdraft but you're too embarrassed to tell anybody about it? So these are all things that I think the small guy can identify with on a level that someone who's always been salaried probably can't quite as much. So I just thought I'd share a bit about my career so far, the things I've learned, how I've tried to find my roots and how I've tried to stick to them. So I started out when I was 17 doing an apprenticeship at Creative Scotland, and we were filming all over the country, and there was 2 of us doing the apprenticeship there. And then when we finished that, we both went to uni. And me and the other apprentice, Ethan, who's sat over there, we were offered a lot of film work by Creative Scotland. So we were just filming loads and loads of different events. And we dived in and we got started. And we didn't really know anything, to be honest. We both had a camera, not much else. And it shouldn't have worked for a lot of reasons. We were students, we didn't know what we were doing. We were making it up as we went along. But it started to work, and actually that's helped both of our careers and our business so much now. And I think initially I really just admire now how naive I was then. Like I just dived in and did it. And I'm still trying to remind myself to be naive now. And stop thinking of reasons not to do something and just let it happen. Like it might go wrong, but it might also go right. And so yeah, just trying to find new experiences in order to reach my roots. So halfway through university, I really started to hate university. We loved filming events outside of the course, but other than that, yeah, the course was not doing me a good time, really. So I decided we obviously wanted to make this into a proper business. And so I looked for some extra modules in the university in business management to do that I was going to do alongside my film course. But as it transpired, I decided to change course completely to business management. And I finished with an MSc in business management. And I think what I really learned here was to trust my gut. Obviously it's a bit of a cliche, but I think doing that really helped me to associate with my roots. And I think actually I was better doing it, trust my gut then than I am now. I have to really remind myself to continue to do that now. So yeah, it was just about having instinct to getting on with it. So in the last year of uni, me and Ethan decided we would set up High Tide. And High Tide is a production company that makes high-end video content for online audiences. And based on what we'd learned, I decided I would produce and Ethan would film and edit all of our content. And this has since developed into me being head of production and Ethan being head of creative. And we work with a lot of creative freelancers on a huge variety of different projects, which is really exciting. So about a year into the business, we were doing pretty well. We were, half of our salaries were coming from High Tide and the other half from other freelance work. But we knew that we really wanted to grow the business, and I knew I was kind of lacking in the knowledge to do it. So I applied to be on an Accelerator program, and a lot of people around me in the creative industries were saying, like, don't do it, it's too salesy, you'll become like Wolf of Wall Street, you'll sell your soul. And I was kind of ignored that advice, and I've been on the Accelerator for almost 2 years now, and I actually realised that it was an experience I really needed because it taught me to ask for help. And I think that's really, really important when you're connecting with your roots. You always need to take the advice that people give, but being able to share and support other people to identify my roots and not bottle things up was really, really important. So I've always had a passion for supporting young people, and there was an opportunity to join a charity board that supports young people within the creative industries. So I jumped at the chance to apply, and I got on the board, which was really exciting. And so first meeting, I trotted off to London, and I realised that I was the youngest person there, and I was the most inexperienced. I didn't feel I deserved to be there at all, and I just kind of thought I was going to get found out. So I just didn't really talk in many meetings, to be honest. I didn't really contribute, and I was just kind of terrified at every single meeting. And obviously now I realise this is a bit of a typical imposter syndrome, creative, everybody feels it. And I think this actually really stopped me from growing and supporting other people and actually being myself. And so recently I've realised how helpful I can be to this charity, and trying not to let my imposter syndrome sneak in has been really important, not only there but in all situations. So 2018, I absolutely love running the business, but I wanted to make a fiction film as well. So I teamed up with a writer-director who I'd been to uni with to make a short film. And we had this really amazing idea, and we didn't really quite realise how ambitious it was, and it needed 30 people to make it happen. And so we didn't realise until we were too deep into it, to be honest with you. It was really hard, we were way out of our depth. We were really stressed, even though I looked quite happy in this photo, but I wasn't. And the whole team were looking to us for guidance. And we obviously got through it at the end, but we did feel like the film's just not going to be quite as good as we'd hoped. But that was a load of rubbish. We've had a really successful festival run so far. It's been to 4 festivals, and hopefully more to come. So what this really taught me was to just step out my comfort zone. It taught me I could do it, and this has impacted our business positively too. It's made us take on much more ambitious projects, which I didn't think I could do before, and we wouldn't have worked with the likes of Stena and Tesco, at least partly without this project. So yeah, if I would say to everybody to definitely try and push yourself out your comfort zone, and because it helped me to find what I love to do as well. So I couldn't really think of a story for this one, but it's just been kind of continuous all the way through. But I just feel that balance is so important. I think that when things haven't been enjoyable for me is when I'm doing too much or too little of one thing. So whether that be between boring and fun stuff, or too much work and too much time off, or really busy periods and not, or time on your own and time with other people, I think balance is just really what makes it worth it. But for me, the core of Roots is know why you do what you do. And definitely for me, this is about connecting people. Firstly, we do this through the content that we create, through the brands and then their audiences, and hopefully this makes people have a reaction to our content. But also I love it when you're on a set and you can bring loads of creative people together, and in the morning it's just a concept on a sheet of paper, and then by the evening everybody can actually watch this thing. I just find that pretty amazing. But yeah, I think knowing why you do what you do is really important, because it means that when you do something that you don't want to do, you know why. So taking a job just to pay the rent, you know it's a sidestep, but it's one that's an essential sidestep towards your vision and towards your real roots. Yeah, thanks. That's me. So the question was, how do you retain naivety? I think it's about trying to have a balance between doing the stuff you've got to and then just the stuff for fun. without the pressure. I think there's a lot of things that I think we've been doing recently where we've just like, oh, we've got to get the money and we've got to do that. And I think those are the situations where you lose that naivety. And so yeah, I think we've been going back to the drawing board and be like, right, what are we doing just for the sake of doing it, that we really, really love. So and making time for that I think is really important too. I think initially we always try to push brands to be like, right, what can you do that's going to be creative? They don't always go for it, as purse strings can always get in the way. But I think when we've had the best times of that is when we've got a client that is paying the bills and we don't need to worry about it. But then we're also just doing a project that is just for us,
Yeah.
We went and filmed a music festival for free a couple of years ago and we were just like, wow, this is amazing, And I think, just always having something like that on the back burner just for you is really, really important. Yeah, that short film, everybody worked for free on that short film and we made it on £6,000, but we spent a large chunk of that, or not a large chunk, but a good amount of money on catering, and it was this amazing Japanese bistro would turn up and they'd cook on this farm, and they did such a good deal for us. And actually there was one really bad day where it was raining and everything went wrong. It was a car day, and I just thought, God, nobody's going to come back tomorrow. And everybody came back, but some people said it was because of the food, and I was like, oh my God. But that morning we bought everybody breakfast, and just made a bit of an apology about the day before, and everybody kept going. I think there's part of being honest with people without showing that you're really stressed, but being like, look, we acknowledge that yesterday was not a good day, and we appreciate all your hard work, and yeah, we made a mistake, and like, here's some classes. And it's kind of like what surprised us now doing other passion projects, me and the director of that, we're just mind blown that we managed to convince 30 people to come onto a project for 5 days for free in the middle of summer when everybody actually has other work on. And actually that was really about sharing our vision for the film and being like, this is what it is, everybody's working for free. Obviously including us, nobody's making any money out of this. This is what we hope for it, and if you can come on that journey, great, but cool if you don't want to, and I think people really appreciated that.
All right, well, let's give another round of applause to our speaker, Alex. Thank you very much.